of my talk is humans to Mars. We're talking about this maybe before my birth. Well, by the way, I just turned 40 last week. I feel 20 again. So title is Humans to Mars, How Analog Astronaut Missions Can Prepare Us for Martian Settlements. These are some logos. Most of them are volunteering, only University of Hawaii was paid position. I'll go to the next slide. Okay. And my husband will make an announcement. He has 2 slides. You have only 1 minute or 2 minutes.
USA.Healthcare. My name is Jess Caleb. I'm the founder of USA.Healthcare. So I also launched this Astronaut.Health. It's an initiative to monitor astronauts before, during, and after. There is a QR code if you want to sign up. You're welcome to sign up. And then I also design shirts for a living. So there is the one shirt that I made for this conference. Yeah, thank you, Marufa.
You're welcome. So it's supposed to be 20 minutes talk, but probably I'll speak 10 minutes, and then we'll have 5 minutes for Q&A. So these are kind of contents, very brief history of Earth and Mars, my analog astronaut missions on Earth, and some methodologies, and message to future, and conclusion, of course. This is my favorite slide. I love watching Star Trek. So I would recommend everybody who is interested in science or even fiction, download Pluto TV, and you can watch it anywhere. Cooking, cleaning, whatever you're doing. And my favorite, character is 7 of 9. Do you see my cursor? That's my favorite character. I love her. She's a cyborg plus human, Annika Hansen. And acknowledgement to my mom for teaching me music in the morning and Arabic teacher in the evening, because that really helped now that I look back. This is my, okay, now we come back to 2024 again. This is my business card. You can scan, but there is another scan. Okay, so since I, okay, that's the business card. Okay, you're welcome. Since I learned Arabic from my childhood, there is an Arabic proverb which says, "Speak only if your words are more beautiful than silence." I rediscovered the meaning of this sentence when I finished my first analog mission. I learned that silence is the presence of time. Because when we're talking, we don't really realize time flies quickly. And then some people ask, "Oh, why Mars? Why Moon? Why not Moon?" My question is like, why not? By the way, if you seem that I'm not speaking English, suddenly speaking different language, just pull me back. Mars in Bengali language means peace or blissful. So since our childhood, we know Mars is a peace planet. So this Martian movie, I love this movie. If Matt Damon can be a Martian, I think I'm a Martian too. Because there's a group photo here of my first analog mission at MDRS. Here, so these are all these famous people. I put myself with them in the same category. Yes, because I just turned 40, you know. So Elon Musk says, okay, scaling and scoping your consciousness wherever you are. And I was in Nepal in a royal family, hanging out with king's grandson's wife, and we would have lunch, dinner, and at that time I read this book, Black Holes and Baby Universe. Stephen Hawking had this theory like both imaginary time and real time exist at the same time, but imaginary time travels 45-degree angle. So that really changed the whole perspective when you understand, because you see all these calendars, they all exist at the same time. But where do you put yourself? But paradox of time is kind of like it takes time to understand the nature of ourselves. These slides are basically, I'm planning to do series of science facts and fiction based book. These are kind of summarized ideas. So okay, welcome to Mars. You can choose your time, year, which year you are. So let's revisit Mars as a peace planet. I'm an educator. I do teach other educators, like teaching the teachers, but also students in Hawaii. So I love asking questions. So two questions, like, if you're settling down other planets, are you settling as a kingdom like we did on Earth? Does it look more attractive? Or you want to do democracy? We can decide the governance structure. This is kind of class sign-up sheet I do for my students virtually. I have students from all around, like international students from Jordan, from Saudi Arabia, from Bangladesh, Hawaii. So basically they have to mention their country and what are the topics they are interested in. The analog astronaut training program are interested in the moon or Mars or ISS. I've been attending all these presentations and it seems everyone is kind of disclosing what they're doing, and it could be a good learning for others. So I've been ambassador building my spaceship for the last 7 years. It's really easy to sign up to be an ISS ambassador. You just have to disclose, you have to submit quarterly report what you are doing. If you're attending a conference, you have to do this. So I would suggest if anyone has interest, you can sign up to be an ISS ambassador. Please remind me when 10 minutes left. Okay, it's 30, okay. Recently I'm learning how to write poetry because poetry is easier. It's easy to explain cruel facts or brutal truths. So this was a poem I wrote to the ISS when Bob and Dog were flying a few years ago. I'll just say first sentence. You are the M-star, eon of our generation and messenger of peace. Please tell us your stories and dreams and where you would like to go next. Else in third sentence too. Is it the moon or Mars or Earth bound again? And here the last sentence I learned from MDRS after my training, like please do not trigger others with your actions or words and stay kind, it makes you beautiful. So that was good learning. So where is moon? Moon is just attached to Earth, I mean, this is our moon, and Mars is the next planet. That's where we're trying to go. But then, we have all these billions of stars, as Carl Sagan say. And you can probably time travel, but it's not really straight line. It could be a little bit curvy. So I do, for my students, homework is draw your constellation because it's a meditation process. It helps you for imagination and to cool you down about, if anything goes wrong. So as I mentioned, I will say brief history of Earth. So I was born in Bangladesh. My last name goes back to 14th century. We read in the history book. 12 of Bhuiyan, my last name Bhuiyan, used to rule the Bengal. And then Mughal from India, they came and they set up empires. And then there was 1,000 years of European and few hundred years British and 24 years of Pakistani. All this time kind of product of all this culture, I would say. That was my first photo of MDRS. I was sitting here talking with this Indian astronomer. I was supposed to be an astronomer at the time, but I became greenhouse officer. But my question would be like, are we living in a simulated world? I think we are. So what is analog astronaut? Analog astronaut is someone who does this training on Earth and perform as a role of an astronaut, but still shouldn't fly in space. So these are photos from analog astronaut conferences. Who you want to be when you grow up? When I was little, I wanted to be a musician and a doctor. Then later I found myself, I was doing engineering and then I became an astronomer. Now I want to be, I don't know what, I just want to write poetry. So anyway, this is the application form if you want to be an analog astronaut. But before that, we do this psychology test, and I found myself I was extremely kind of introvert, 62%, and that really, it was very true during my mission. I found myself, I would just isolate myself a lot. When a lot of people, I just want to have my own time. So probably it's very, it's good to understand your personality, it helps. So that was a photo of our, so we were doctors on Mars. Like we were playing the role of doctors. Daily theme song was suit, boot, radio, life support, globes go. And we would go out and do EVA. Inside the habitat here, I was getting ready, and others are helping and watching each other. Basically, everyone is watching everyone. And you have to really behave yourself. And me going out for EVA, and others are doing activities. So I was a greenhouse officer, but in simulation, what happens? Any information, any word, it can amplify a lot. So at the time I was reading Robert Frost, the prophets really prophesy as mystics, the commentators really by statistics. And this was amplified among all the crews, and it was so helpful just to understand. And this book was very helpful. It was like a Bible for me at that time. And I saw this light, like third eye in the greenhouse. It was so amazing experience. And we do all kind of activities, EVA. But that was the last day with me and the next crew we were taking photo. And that was after 1 year we were doing work party. I was painting the science dome with Shannon Burke. She was director at that time. Later, I did another mission that was more like a remote. I was crew astronomer, and we had some assignments. But the third mission I did was in Hawaii. I lived in Hawaii almost 12 years, but this really opened my eyes, and I learned that the difference between genius and stupidity is genius has its limits. Because stupidity probably doesn't have any limits. Musilova was a commander, and I supposed to be crew operations officer. Living in Hawaii for so long, people think I'm local, but I'm not, because when I speak my Arabic or other influence, other accent. And then on the day one, they were like always laughing. And just 1 week ago, my dad passed away, January 23rd, and I went there on February 4th. And they're like always laughing. It was so loud, and I would go hide my room, hide. And they wrote, and Musilova publishes this space.com reports. We spent 90% of our soul one laughing, and we will do it in Sol 2, and we'll continue to the rest of the mission. And I had like, I lost myself on the day 4th, and everything is recorded. Those cameras everywhere. The founder, architect, he came. He said, "You don't have to be an astronaut. We'll hang out in the beach." And there was 3 police cars and protocol there escorted me from there, and I was in ICU for a few days, and then we had all these things. But anyway. But hospital was amazing, because I loved looking at the patients, and it was fun. But anyway, so I've been doing this analog astronaut conference this last few years, and analog astronaut conference, and you meet other people, and some of them are younger than me. They already flew in the space, and from Mexico, from other countries. But anyway, so the analog astronaut conference is fun. Biosphere 2 is really fun. This is my most favorite slide. How much time we have? Okay, this is humans to Mars. So I would suggest everybody, younger or older, like do multiple discipline activities, volunteering, whatever you're doing. I was reading this book, Humans, and there were interviews from many different nationalities, and one story really stuck me a lot. It was this African king. So African king, he is a king now, but 10 minutes, okay, thanks. Former king passed away, and everybody is recommending him to be king, and he was in school. So he was so scared, he left the country and came to America. They gave me asylum, and then they gave me, so he started washing dishes, working as this and that, and all this. And after 10 years, he went back and became a king. So the idea is when you have enough training, you would know. He was confident, and later he became king. So Humans on Mars, these are National Geographic has all these. NASA has, I mean, we should mention about NASA, of course. I was volunteering for NASA Globe program for a few years. I love NASA. Settlements, what are the locations? These are a few locations from my research, from our research we found out. Methodology for 1 million people. Elon Musk has this plan for 1 million people on Mars. So we did some calculation. What kind of people do we need? Recently, this group of people came back for 1 year of isolation. The more methodology, settlement timeline here, you can find what timeline you belong. Biomanufacturing. I was a contributor author in NASA's decadal survey for the next decade, so I just wanted to disclose that information. And these are some curriculum I teach for the students. That was my project I worked where school kids talked with astronaut Woody Hoberg after 1 year. That my kind of like artistic rendition how a city on Mars would look like. I love interplanetary communication, this term, because of Nikola Tesla. So that's my favorite project. Also, I have interest in calendars, like timekeeping. And for greenhouse, we found out for 1 million people, we need 3,333 greenhouses. Things to do, basically, keep record of track of my work and manage funding and all these things. Here is more homework for the students or educators. I like this homework because it's like, how much do you want to carry? If each load is 1 penny, how many pennies you would carry on the moon? NASA has $17 billion to pay, invest. Conclusion is the last slide. I will spend maybe a minute. So basically every grain stands for genetics, robotics, AI, and nanotechnology should be strictly controlled and monitored. Idea is to create a biosphere 2 or MDRS on Moon and Mars. And Elon Musk's Neuralink is really coming true. I think it's a good idea to have brain-to-brain interface because now that we're talking, we're connecting with each other, right? It's really fun. And politics, religion, characters, and culture to consider, like who you want to hang out. And then intellectual humility, I guess all of you know what that is. And wonder and imagination will be very important for ourselves, even on Earth or if you go to other planetary bodies. Thank you. Here's the QR code. I just paid 79 cents today to renew my QR code. So you can scan, follow, or become a friend with me if you're interested. I hope that this will work, this time. So if you have any questions? Yes.
What made you choose to become an analog astronaut? What were the things that put you in that direction?
What made you choose? Oh, that was the time.
Before NDRS, because we're in the, as you said before, NDRS, that's what sacred teachings and making them. Choosing NDRS, what was it?
That was the year 2017 when the refugee from Myanmar started coming to Bangladesh. It was 700,000 refugees, our Prime Minister. And I went back to Bangladesh from Hawaii. I was like, wow, I just want to leave this earth. And then at the time, I was in Nepal for a physics conference. And this group of analog astronauts, we were talking, and she was commander. She was like, you would be really good fit for our commander. We're looking for an astronomer. Please come. And I was in the middle of, you want to be a scientist or a saint situation. And then my professor from Hawaii, Christina Monroe, says, you don't have to be a saint yet, we need more scientists. So, and then I joined the 2020 in January, just before the pandemic started. Thank you, that was a good question.
Okay, I had kind of similar questions. There was someone else in like this group who was teaching kids classes, and so I kind of want to ask the same questions to you. How many students are you teaching at the moment, would you say, per year? And also, what's your goal for how many?
Yeah, that's a good question. As a CEO, I have a lot of freedom. When I did my MDRS training, I realized that I can't work for anyone else because that's it. We had pilot, engineers, doctors, and I learned a lot within 2 weeks. I have to be my own boss. And then now as a CEO, I can decide. So I get a lot of emails. Recently I did micro internship for School of Humanity. Only 4 students, 4 or 5. One from Jordan, one from Saudi Arabia, and Lithuania or something like 4 other. And then in Hawaii is different because we do judging in the science fair and governor will be there and there will be probably a lot of students. We have to do like go from one stall to another. So I have like keep a track what I do, all these volunteering activities. I don't have really exact number how many, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and the other question I have for them I want to ask for you is I always think it's really like it's so like smart and efficient to get kids to brainstorm ideas and then collect that data, and then I'm curious, how interested is is this group in the ideas the kids are coming up with, and are you using them at all, or are you storing them somewhere, and do you think you can use those solutions in the future? Because as you said, it's going to take a lot of creativity.
I learn a lot from the kids. They have all these ideas, it blows my mind every day. Anyone I meet younger than me, I can learn. Of course you can learn from anyone if you have the patience, but it makes me just like, I really enjoy learning from them. Yes.
Yeah, there's right one here that has taught us a lot as well. Yes.
Sorry?
Yeah, cool.
Yes, question.
You have a question? Oh yeah, my favorite. Ask me a good question. You were referring.
There might be questions in the chat.
Oh, question in the chat. One minute.
How do you see your business expanding over the next few years? Like, what are some of your goals?
My goal is to publish series of science fact and fiction books. I just want to be an Isaac Asimov in my generation. Publish books. That's my goal. And I have a CFO. He is tracking the money situation. So